She is the daughter of the god of sin, hiding her identity to participate in the selection of the Minister of Rites, only to uncover the shocking conspiracy of the heavenly emperor's birth 300 years ago. She is the destined Minister of Destiny, who controls the fate of all people in the world, but she cannot control her own destiny. It is so sad and ridiculous. For whom does the gardenia bloom, and for whom does the gardenia fall? You and I have more than 3 lives of love. Keywords of the novel. Birth without pop-ups. Download the complete set of Birth TXT, and read the latest chapters of Birth. Chapter 1. Preface. Wedge 1. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 1. Preface. Wedge 1. Demon. Hurry up and open the door for our palace. Today, our palace will have the demon catcher take you. There was a commotion outside the door. Li Guifei's expression was filled with sorrow, and she was covered in a sickly condition. Tears streamed down her face, and she gasped for breath. Cough, Your Majesty. I'm afraid. The emperor walked to the edge of the bed and looked at Li Guifei's charming and pale face with heartache. Empress AI. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. With me around, I want to see how they dare to treat you. At this moment, the door was knocked open, and the empress rushed in with a team of guards and several concubines watching the excitement. 2 Taoist priests also followed in, one of whom was dressed in a green robe, with a fairy-like demeanor and a strong spirit, holding a demon-slaying sword. The empress rushed into the purple cloud hall of Li Guifei's bedroom and saw that the emperor was also present. She couldn't help but tremble and asked in surprise, "The emperor is also present? Didn't the emperor leave the palace?" At the moment when the emperor saw the empress break through the door, he had the heart to kill her. The emperor released Li Guifei, who was seriously ill, with a murderous aura between her eyebrows. Does the empress intend to kill my beloved concubine by sending me out of the palace? With a swoop, the empress knelt on the ground and began chattering incessantly. Your Majesty. I did this for the safety of the emperor. Sisterly, not consortly, is transformed into a demon. I am afraid that the emperor will become the second king of Zhou. The emperor. Let my concubine take this demon now. The emperor seemed to be annoyed and waved his hand, whispering, Enough. You keep saying that my beloved concubine is a demon, and you are clearly jealous. Jealous that I only favor her. But you know why I only favor her. Cough, cough. The more the emperor speaks, the more excited he becomes. Duke Yan quickly handed the emperor a glass of water. Your Majesty, don't get excited. The dragon's body is important. The emperor suppressed his excited emotions and waved his hand to Duke Yan. Yan Gonggang wisely stepped down. Empress, you have lost the most basic tolerance and virtue after becoming a country. I will depose you as empress today. The empress's face turned pale with fear when she heard that the emperor was about to depose her position as empress. Your Majesty, you cannot depose my concubine. Everything I do is for the sake of the emperor, for the benefit of the great Chu kingdom. 2 Taoist priests walked up to the empress, and she suddenly remembered. Your Majesty, these 2 are the Taoists of Maoshan who specialize in catching demons. Your Majesty, if you don't believe me, let the 2 Taoists distinguish whether Li Guifei is a demon or not. After speaking, the empress signaled to the 2 guards. The 2 guards nodded and rushed straight to the edge of the bed, without hesitation dragging Consortly out of bed. He forcefully wanted to drag Consortly to the empress. Li Guifei exclaimed in terror, Your Majesty. Your Majesty. Save my concubine. My beloved concubine is still seriously ill and was dragged out of bed in front of everyone, clearly not paying attention to me. Where is the regal? Where is the regal? The emperor angrily pulled out the sword hanging by the bedside and stabbed one of the guards who had dragged Consortly out of bed. The guard who was stabbed died with blood and shame, unaware of what had happened. And the other guard turned pale in fear and ran behind the queen. The emperor's tyranny was shaken, and the empress's arrogance was ignited. The empress, without the deterrence of breaking through the door, had a pale face and a trembling body in fear. For the first time in the history of the emperor, he became violent, causing everyone present to panic. Even the two Maoshan Taoist priests were stunned. A cold light flashed in Li Guifei's eyes, and she saw that the two Taoist masters were indeed skilled in Taoism. Among them, there was a Taoist priest with a demon collecting pot hanging from his neck, and the Taoist priest in green was doing a celestial eye-opening gesture. "It's this damn old Taoist who ruined my good deeds 3 or 4 times, almost succeeded." Li Guifei cursed inwardly, "Your Majesty! Your Majesty!" Li Guifei coughed pitifully a few times. The emperor quickly bent down to embrace Li Guifei and comforted her, saying, "Love Fei, don't be afraid, I am here." The Qingyi Taoist, who had opened his heavenly eyes, saw with his heavenly eyes that Li Guifei was indeed a fox demon. Qingyi Daochang calmed down and bowed to the emperor, saying, "Your Majesty, in your arms is a fox demon that has been practicing for thousands of years. You will be deceived by it." The emperor raised his head according to the voice and looked at the Taoist priest in green clothes. With a fairy-like demeanor and a sharp gaze, he looked like a Taoist priest with profound Taoist techniques. After listening to the words of the Taoist priest in green, the emperor looked at Li Guifei in his arms. "I saw Consort Li suffering from illness and not even willing to trample on an ant to death. How could she be a fox demon who has been practicing for thousands of years? I only believe what I see. How could a woman who is seriously ill and powerless be a fox demon that eats people?" Because Li Guifei was possessed by a fox demon for years, she became seriously ill. The words of Taoist Qingyi reminded the emperor of some things. Li Guifei hurriedly said, "Your Majesty, don't believe the words of the demonic way. The demonic way belongs to the empress. I accompany you day and night and have never done anything unfavorable to you. How could I be a fox demon?" The empress frowned angrily and pointed at Empress Li Guifei, saying angrily, "You fox demon. Today, there is a Taoist priest with profound teachings. Let's see where you're going to escape. The fox demon is best at bewitching people, and she is the second Sidaji. Your Majesty, if you don't kill her today, you will become the second king of Zhou." Taoist Qingyi is strongly advising. The emperor hesitated and looked at Li Guifei, then at the Taoist priest in green. "Your Majesty, do you not believe in me? Since ancient times, any woman who has received the emperor's blessings has been regarded by others as a beauty disaster and transformed into a demon. However, even so, I have no regrets for being that beauty disaster. I only know that being able to be with the emperor twice as much is better than 3 lives." Li Guifei made a decision secretly when she saw that the emperor had not responded to her for a long time. Suddenly, Consort Li snatched the sword from the emperor's hand and stabbed her chest, causing blood to gush from her chest. Everyone present was stunned. At the moment when Li Guifei snatched the emperor's sword, everyone thought Li Guifei was going to assassinate the emperor and shouted, "Emperor, be careful." Surprisingly, Li Guifei snatched the emperor's sword and stabbed herself in the heart. "It's not worth it." Qingyi Taoist also thought that Li Guifei was going to assassinate the emperor, so he jumped up and snatched Li Guifei's sword. Unexpectedly, Li Guifei would stab him with her backhand. In this way, Taoist Qingyi became the person who indirectly assassinated Consort Li. The reversal of events was too fast, and for a moment the emperor was still in panic. When the emperor regained consciousness, Consort Li had collapsed to the ground, and the blood couldn't stop flowing. "Empress Ai. I was wrong. I shouldn't believe you." The emperor held Li Guifei in his arms and cried out in pain. "Your Majesty, I'm leaving. I can't be your lifelong confidant anymore. Your Majesty, you must remember that my blood flows for you." When Li Guifei said these words, her hand stained with blood caressed the emperor's face, hoping to use this genuine emotion to forever retain the emperor's heart. "Ifei, don't leave me. I don't allow you to leave. Li Guifei smiled slightly at the emperor and looked at the empress, taking her last breath and saying, Empress sister, the emperor is the ruler of a country, with 3,000 beautiful women in the harem. Who should be favored? Can the younger sister make the decision? The younger sister has never wanted to argue with the empress sister. Why does the empress sister refuse to let her go? Li Guifei referred to the empress as her sister several times, causing the concubines who were watching the opera to involuntarily stand by Li Guifei's side. Listening to Li Guifei's tear-jerking words, as if feeling the same way, she also cried wrongfully. The empress glanced at the concubines watching the play. The concubines who watched the play stopped crying when they received the sharp light handed over by the emperor. You fox demon, pretending to be pitiful and even biting back at our palace when you were dying. When Li Guifei said, why does the empress refuse to let go of her younger sister, she became agitated and spat out blood several times before finally disappearing with tears in her eyes. Empress AI. Don't leave me, I was wrong. I shouldn't have trusted you seeking collection, seeking recommendations, seeking rewards, all kinds of requests. With your support and encouragement, Donghuang Shangtao will have more passion and motivation to code characters. End of this chapter. Chapter 2. Preface. Wedge 2. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 2. Preface. Wedge 2. The fox demon took advantage of the emperor's heartbreak and turned into a cloud of white smoke and flew away. However, this kind of deception can only avoid those ordinary people. The two Maoshan Taoist priests noticed that the fox demon had turned into white smoke and flew away, so they immediately chased after it. The empress's mouth curled up with a hint of mockery. Even the little noblewoman dares to fight against this palace beyond her capacity. The empress walked slowly to the emperor and advised, Your Majesty, don't be sad about a fox demon. Taking care of the dragon's body is important. The emperor came to his senses from grief and stared at the empress with a murderous gaze. The emperor picked up the sword on the ground and suddenly stabbed at the empress. Just at the moment of the sudden outbreak, the guards rushed forward to rescue the enemy. In the guards' heart, the queen is their own master. The queen was so frightened that she stumbled and fell. Duke Yen hurriedly approached and urged the emperor not to kill the empress, and the state of Chu must not have no empress. Your Majesty, everything I do is because of you. Your Majesty, you must know that I am the one who worships you. Those so-called concubines, they don't have you in their hearts, and playing tricks on you is all for the sake of your power. The death of Consort Li taught a profound lesson to those present. In this palace, the empress is the true master. Whoever offends her will have a bad ending. The concubines who watched the excitement were angry and glared at the empress's words, but they had no choice but to leave the Purple Cloud Palace with their sleeves thrown. Forgot. Over the years, the empress has been deliberately manipulating her informants, and her imperial power has long been overshadowed by her. The emperor slowly released the sword in his hand, and with a clang, the sword fell to the ground. The forest is lush and the sky is out of sight, shrouded in dense fog, making it difficult to see the direction clearly. Suddenly, this green forest flashed red. It seems that this forest is the old lair of the fox demon, and the forest is full of obstacles. We need to be more careful, said Qingyi Taoist to another Taoist. The other Taoist nodded in agreement, and the two walked closely together for a while. There are two roads ahead, and each of them chooses a separate path to take. A black dot flashed in front of Taoist Qingyi. Taoist Qingyi drew his sword and chased after him. In an instant, countless black spots transformed into fox demons, swaying back and forth in front of Taoist Qingyi. He Taoist, come and catch us. Fox demons swayed their seductive bodies one by one, their seductive voices playing with the green-clothed Taoist. A lewd scene came to mind, and Taoist Qingyi knew that he had been enchanted by the fox demon's enchantment technique. Qingyi Dao immediately sat down and recited the heart-setting mantra. Hee hee ha ha, the lewd laughter echoed in this forest, disrupting the calming spell of Taoist Qingyi. Dongfang sculpture, you and I have never been in contact with the river, but you have caused harm to me 3 or 4 times. Today, I will eat your heart. I heard that as long as you eat the god's heart, not only can you increase your mana, but you can also maintain your youth forever. Qingyi Daochang's face changed color, and the fox demon knew his true identity. So the secret of the Heavenly Lord's birth to the mortal world has been leaked. Who leaked the life book of the Heavenly Lord, who never left? Demon, since ancient times, gods and demons have been sworn against each other. If we don't kill you, it's because of your harm, and it will not harm the world. I, Dongfang sculpture, have only allowed you a way out. But you don't repent and have seduced the king of Chu to cause chaos and chaos. Do you know that the king of Chu was descended by the heavenly emperor? Today, I, Dongfang sculpture, will take you as a fox demon. Dongfang sculpture said. Haha. The fox demon cast a seductive glance at Dongfang Shuo. That day, the little demon passed by the palace and saw the pitiful and delicate beauty of Li being bullied by the cunning empress and other concubines. The little demon showed compassion and helped the beauty of Li, only to find out that the king of Chu was actually born to the heavenly emperor. Unexpectedly, the heavenly emperor's brother was a lover, and I have been bored for 10,000 years. So, I became a lifelong lover with the heavenly emperor's brother to relieve stress, and this has become the cause of chaos. The heavenly Lord is still young. As soon as he ascends the throne, he will go to the mortal world to experience. Now he is just a mortal, and only then will he be enchanted by you, the eternal fox demon. After speaking, Dongfang sculpture used his sword to draw a small path on his middle finger and dripped blood onto the demon-slaying sword. The demon-slaying sword emitted a powerful white light, which broke through the maze formation under the fox demon cloth. The fox demon looked frightened and immediately summoned a group of foxes. Sisters, give it back to me. Tonight we will eat this old Taoist. Its sister. If we eat this old Taoist, we can never age again. The fox group excitedly spread their teeth and claws, launching an attack on Dongfang sculpture. Dongfang sculpture remained calm and composed, wielding a demon-slaying sword to confront the fox pack. The demon-slaying sword, with the blood of Dongfang sculpture as its trigger, is 100 times more powerful. Its sword light is like lightning, and its speed is as fast as a shooting star. Brushing and brushing. The surging fox swarm was like cutting melons on a board, one by one dying under the sword. When the fox demon saw that all sisters died under the sword of Dongfang plastic, he glared and roared, and used his unique skill for thousands of years. A green forest, instantly transformed into a mangrove forest. The mangrove forest was strangely windy, with leaves falling off one after another. Millions of leaves, like millions of arrows, shot towards the east. Although Dongfang sculpture has an incredibly powerful demon-slaying sword, it is also difficult to withstand countless arrows. Moreover, these arrows are as dense as drizzle, and any slight carelessness can lead to them being shot. Dongfang Shuli received arrows in several places. Although these arrows are leaves, their power and pain are not weaker than real arrows. Haha. Seeing Dongfang sculpture waving his sword in embarrassment and dodging, the fox demon smiled happily. The fox demon finished being happy and suddenly shouted angrily, Dongfang sculpture, today is your deadline. Before he could finish speaking, Dongfang Shu felt a sharp pain in his back. Originally, Dongfang sculpture was ambushed by a fox demon on the back, and received 5 claws from behind. The 5 claws of the fox demon are deep to the bones, and the blue clothes of Dongfang sculpture are instantly stained red with blood. The fox demon's 5-clawed hands became increasingly fierce as they made their way towards the east. Dongfang Su endured the pain and dodged in embarrassment. Given this situation, there is no doubt that Dongfang plastics will die today. In an instant, a light flashed through the sky. This light has a huge suction, and the fox demon absorbs it all. The fox demon, who didn't know what was going on, was taken into the demon collecting pot in fear. The demon collecting pot is a magical tool gifted by Empress Nuwa to Dongfang sculpture. Once the demon collecting pot is opened, any demon with higher magic will be subdued. The other Taoist turned around in the forest but couldn't figure out the direction, so he wandered aimlessly. Later, when he heard the sound of fighting, he walked towards the sound. The fox demon was pushing itself step by step into the east, but was unaware that another Taoist had rushed over. So, the Taoist opened the collection pot and effortlessly subdued the fox demon. A few months later, Duke Yen arrived at Wanfu Palace in panic and knelt down with a loud thud. Report. Empress, Your Majesty, you have passed away due to excessive longing. The King of Chu passed away, and the Heavenly Emperor and the Primordial Spirit returned to their throne. On the Lingshao Hall, 100 immortals cannot understand why the Heavenly Lord wants to judge. The Grand Minister ordered Dongfang Su. The Heavenly Lord looked angrily at Dongfang's sculpture, who was kneeling on the main hall with 5 tied flowers. Even Emperor Donghua and Emperor Wenchang, who were sitting on the side listening to the trial, were also puzzled. Dongfang Su, you know the crime of tampering with our Heavenly Lord's life book and pretending to be the Taoist priest of Maoshan to kill my beloved concubine. When the Heavenly Lord questioned Dongfang's sculpture and said, "Killed my concubine," he looked at the Empress Dowager beside him with a guilty conscience. The Heavenly Lord and the Primordial Spirit have returned to their throne, still thinking of that mortal woman. The Queen naturally felt unhappy in her heart, but there was no hint of displeasure on her face. The Queen knew very well that she could not compete with a mortal woman in front of the immortals and be jealous, which would lose her grace. The minister discovered that Li Guifei was actually a fox demon that had been around for 10,000 years. For the safety of the Heavenly Lord, I descended to earth and transformed into the Taoist priest of Maoshan, subduing the fox demon. Dongfang Plastics explained. Li Guifei was a mortal woman chosen before her death. How could she be a fox demon for 10,000 years? Before the birth of the Heavenly King, the Grand Minister ordered Dongfang Shua to prepare the Heavenly King's birth book according to his wishes. To kill the decisive king and only seek one Yen confidant. Li Guifei is the Yen confidant of the Heavenly Lord's Book of Destiny. Li Guifei is actually a mortal woman, but the secret of the Heavenly Lord's birth to the mortal world was leaked by someone, which allowed the fox demon to have the opportunity to possess Li Guifei. Dongfang Shu explained again. The revelations of the immortals about the celestial being deceived by the fox demon in the mortal world will damage the face of the celestial being. The Heavenly Lord shouted in a low voice, "A bunch of nonsense. You are the one who keeps the life book, and you are the only one who knows about the birth of this Wu. Who would have leaked it? Besides, what evidence do you have to prove that Li Guifei was possessed by a fox demon?" "Yes, I have already subdued the fox demon," said Dongfang Shang. "Then, bring the fox demon up." Perhaps the Heavenly Lord was feeling guilty, and his tone became more gentle. Tianjiang cast a spell and the fairy rope tied to Dongfang Plastic automatically untied. Dongfang Sculpture took out a demon collecting pot from his sleeve. At a glance, the immortals on the Lingshao Palace recognized this demon collecting pot as the magic weapon of Empress Nuwa. The Heavenly Lord is still worried that there is a fox demon in the collection pot. How should he judge? For the first time in mortal training, I was confused by a fox demon. He was forced to death by the Empress in power, and he still has no face. The regal will also be completely destroyed. Thank you for your comments and suggestions. The word, acting on the spot, was omitted and has now been corrected. Donghuang Shangtao knows that some readers and fans have followed from the first work. Thank you for your support. I will code and repay you well. The punishment for fans on Red Sleeve Station has been changed. End of this chapter. Chapter 3. Auditions. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 3 Auditions. However, something unexpected happened. Dongfang's sculpture opened the demon collecting pot and poured out a puddle of water instead of a fox demon. When the demon pot poured out a puddle of water, the Heavenly Lord felt a bit of joy in his heart. The Heavenly Lord angrily asked, "What's going on with Dongfang's sculpture? Dongfang's sculpture is completely foolish. The demon collecting pot has never left him. How could this be?" The heavenly gods on the Lingxiao Hall also looked puzzled. The demon collecting pot is not a demon refining pot, how can it turn into concentrated water? Nowadays, the only evidence to prove one's innocence is gone, and it is futile to argue further. Dongfang's sculpture looked a bit tired in the face of the Heavenly Emperor's rebuke. Dongfang Plastics has been slow to respond. What is the heavenly power of Dongfang shaping, as the Grand Minister of Destiny, to tamper with his life book without punishing him? The Heavenly Lord ordered, dismiss the position of Grand Marshal of Dongfang Sculpture and exile to the wilderness. As soon as your order is issued. Emperor Donghua was about to plead for Dongfang Sculpture when the Empress Dowager gave a look. The general idea is that if the Heavenly Lord's anger is on his head, begging for mercy at this time will only have the opposite effect. 300 years later recently, Taichung Palace posted a notice titled Siming Audition, inviting a group of new Siming candidates to audition in the immortal realm. The identity, gender, and age of the audition are not specified, and all talented individuals are eligible to participate. As soon as the announcement of the Siming audition was issued, the usually cold and idle Taichung Palace suddenly became busy. The palace maids of Taichung Palace move, lift, fly up and down, and skillfully arrange the audition venue. Today, the Heavenly Emperor of Chaohui requested the registration list for the Siming High election from Emperor Donghua, indicating that he is particularly interested in this Siming High election. 300 years ago, the Heavenly Lord would never inquire about the affairs of the inner palace of Emperor Donghua. Even if it was a major decision to elevate someone to the position of Grand Minister, the Heavenly Lord would undoubtedly be decided by Emperor Donghua. However, 300 years later, everything changed, and the Heavenly Lord no longer trusted the Emperor of Donghua so much, and even had some suspicion. Donghua Emperor responded calmly to the Heavenly Emperor. The registration deadline for the Siming audition has not yet expired. When the registration deadline for the Siming audition expires, I will definitely ask Xiao Siming to submit the list of participants for the Siming audition. The reply from Emperor Donghua was neither salty nor indifferent, and of course, the Heavenly Lord felt a bit unhappy in his heart, but he didn't dare to show any displeasure on his face. Because the Heavenly Lord knew his throne, it was the abdication of Emperor Donghua. After the court meeting, Emperor Donghua returned to the Taichung Palace and immediately ordered his son, Xiao Siming, to present the list of participants for the Siming audition and personally review it. Donghua Emperor gently opened the scroll of the list of participants in the Siming audition, with numerous names of participants. It seems that there are many more participants in this year's Siming audition than in previous years. Yuer, how did she come to participate in the Siming audition? Emperor Donghua's gaze stopped on the name Dongfang Yuer. Emperor, is there anything wrong with this list of contestants? Who is Yuer? Emperor Donghua glanced at Xiao Siming, who dared not ask any more questions. Zigua made another mistake. The emperor once taught Zigua not to ask if he shouldn't ask. Xiao Siming knew about the Donghua emperor and never liked others to speculate on his own thoughts. Yuer is the daughter of the Grand Minister Dongfang Sculpture. Xiao Siming was surprised and said, I have worked with De Siming for 100 years, and he has never said he has a daughter before. Actually, I also went to the wilderness to visit and found out that he actually has a daughter named Dongfang Yuer. For some reason. He seems to be very indifferent to this daughter. Suddenly, Emperor Donghua seemed to realize that something significant was about to happen. Go to the Wenchang Palace quickly, and invite Emperor Wenchang to come to the Taichung Palace. I have an urgent matter to discuss with him. Xiao Siming clasped his fists and saluted, then quickly rushed to the Wenchang Hall to invite Emperor Wenchang. A moment later, Emperor Wenchang brought his colorful auspicious cloud to the Taichun Palace and saw Su Siming scolding a palace maid. Can't you be more agile with your movements? This lantern is not hanging here, and these flower baskets are not placed here. And how are these tables arranged horizontally? They should be arranged vertically. Remember that the contestants in the audition must be in a first-come, last-served order. The audience should be seated according to their level and seniority. Do you know? Yes, I got it. Aunt Su. Emperor Wenchang doesn't need palace maids to receive him anymore. He goes directly into the Taichun Palace. Emperor Donghua sat on the pear blossom collapse, looking leisurely, playing chess with himself, not as eager as Xiao Siming said. Emperor Wenchang laughed and said, "Brother Donghua, what can I do to find Brother Wenchang?" Emperor Donghua and Emperor Wenchang have the same level of status, both being emperors. But Emperor Donghua was a righteous deity in ancient times, with a much higher rank than Emperor Wenchang, and he was once the co-leader of the three realms. Emperor Donghua and Emperor Wenchang have a close personal relationship, and are often referred to as brothers in private. Therefore, if Emperor Donghua is of high rank, he is naturally referred to as brother, while Emperor Wenchang is of low rank, he is referred to as younger brother. Brother Wenchang, please sit down first. I have something to ask you for today, said Emperor Donghua. Emperor Wenchang sat down impolitely, picked up a chess piece and played chess with Emperor Donghua while chatting. How could Donghua brother have something to do and ask Wenchang brother for help? Emperor Wenchang said with some disbelief. The Donghua emperor is renowned in the 6 realms, and even the heavenly lord has to give way 3 times. Is there anything that the Donghua emperor cannot accomplish in this world? Emperor Wenchang said somewhat incredulously, Brother Donghua is in trouble. Can you please ask Brother Wenchang for help? Emperor Donghua said solemnly, Brother Wenchang, do you think I'm joking with you today? Upon hearing this sentence from Emperor Donghua, Emperor Wenchang raised his head and glanced at Emperor Donghua. With thousands of years of old friend experience, Emperor Wenchang knew about Brother Donghua and did seek help from him today. Emperor Wenchang patted his chest and said, What's the matter with Brother Donghua? Asking Brother Wenchang. I will go through fire and water. There's no need to go through fire and water, just borrow someone from you. Ha ha ha. Borrow someone. Small matter. Small matter. I don't know, who does Brother Donghua want to borrow? Emperor Donghua didn't want to directly reply, when Chu Xingjun. Sima Ao, listening to the tone of Emperor Donghua, it seemed as if he wanted to appoint Sima Ao, the literary and musical star. Sima Ao, the star lord of Wenxiu, is a beloved disciple of Emperor Wenchang. I don't know how long Emperor Donghua will borrow this person and whether he will not return it once borrowed. Emperor Donghua hesitated when he saw Emperor Wenchang, knowing that his younger brother Wenchang was reluctant to borrow someone. However, it's also true that someone like Sima Ao not only has outstanding literary talent and spells, but also would be reluctant to part ways with him. This time, Emperor Donghua asked in a probing tone, it seems that Brother Wenchang is not willing to give up. No, I beg for it. I can't bear to part with it. I borrow people, but if I want to repay them, I'm just an apprentice who can make me feel at ease. Don't worry. I'm just the chief examiner who came to take on this Siming audition. After the Siming audition is completed, I will definitely return to Zhao. Emperor Wenchang was puzzled. Throughout history, the position of commander-in-chief has been decided by one of Donghua's younger brothers. Even if Brother Donghua doesn't personally do it, there are still Xiao Siming and Su Siming below. I don't entrust the affairs of my own inner mansion to the people of my inner mansion, but I borrow someone from another mansion to handle them. Brother Donghua, Siming Hai Xian is a matter of your inner mansion, and it is appropriate for someone from your inner mansion to serve as the chief examiner. Why borrow someone from another mansion to serve as the chief examiner? I want to avoid suspicion. I am not so confident in handling affairs with Xiao Siming, and I am even more worried about Su Siming. Emperor Donghua took out a scroll from his sleeve and handed it to Emperor Wenchang. Emperor Wenchang knew that Emperor Donghua had difficulties, so he stopped asking. Seizing the book scroll of Emperor Donghua with ease, he opened it and saw the list of contestants for the Siming audition. Emperor Wenchang was shocked when he saw the 4 words, Dongfang Yuer, on the list. Deeply aware of Brother Donghua, he was deeply ashamed of being punished by the Heavenly Lord for his role as Grand Minister Dongfang sculpture. He still finds it difficult to let go. These are all nightmares from 300 years ago, but the nightmares from 300 years ago are still unresolved to this day. Donghua Emperor looked up to the sky and sighed, Donghua Emperor, have never been ashamed of anyone, only my Grand Commandant. What does Brother Donghua want Sima Ao to do? I'll tell him to do it. Just do notarization. Notarization? Emperor Wenchang asked in confusion. Emperor Donghua only smiled slightly at the corner of his mouth and did not respond to Emperor Wenchang's words. Although Emperor Wenchang did not understand the intentions of Emperor Donghua, he readily agreed. Emperor Wenchang bid farewell to Emperor Donghua and walked back to the Wenchang Hall with his colorful auspicious clouds. The female lead is Dongfang Yuer, while the author's name is Donghuang Shangtao. Don't be confused. Remember to give the female lead a thumbs up if you like her. Give a thumbs up to the character you like. End of this chapter. Chapter 4. Competition. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 4. Competition. On the day of the Siming Hai Xian, the curiosity of the immortals rushed back to the past 300 years ago when the Heavenly Lord was born into the mortal world and participated in the competition. With a head of white hair and a white beard, the Southern Dipper Star Lord spoke passionately to several old immortals about the dismissal of the Grand Minister 300 years ago. It is said that 300 years ago, the secret of the Heavenly Lord's birth to the mortal world was leaked, causing the Heavenly Lord to suffer a lot in the mortal world. Therefore, the Heavenly Lord was angry and dismissed the leaker, the Grand Minister, Dongfang Shu, and exiled him to the wilderness. Yeah. The Grand Minister has always been rigorous in handling affairs and has always been sharp in his character. How could he reveal the secrets of the Heavenly Lord's life? No, the Siming cannot be the one who leaked the secret. The life book of Ku Tianjuan's birth is handled and kept by one person, the Grand Minister. If it weren't for him, who would it be? If you ask me, this Grand Minister is pitiful enough. Not only was he dismissed by the Heavenly Emperor, but he was also exiled to the wilderness. Due to the leadership of the Southern Dipper, those old immortals were no longer afraid. With your words and my words, I want to talk about the numerous doubts surrounding the incident 300 years ago when the Grand Minister was punished by the Heavenly Lord, as if I am defending the Grand Minister Dongfang sculpture. A newly risen child fairy was a bit stunned when he heard several old immortals talking about the wilderness. He trembled as if worried about the appearance of the Grand Minister. The little child fairy curiously asked, "What is the wilderness of the Southern Dipper Star Lord?" Nanda Xingjuan stroked his white beard and forgot to look at Xiaotongxian. He said, "Wilderness is a place where the god of sin is exiled, and the climate at the border with other races is harsh. There are also many ferocious beasts, said to be led by wolf packs. Most of these ferocious beasts have been trained by foreign people. If you encounter these ferocious beasts, it will be very unlucky." It turned out to be a place where the god of sin was exiled. "Poor Lord Siming wants to live in such a place," said the little boy to himself, understanding that the Heavenly Lord is a person who loves to hold grudges. Offending the Heavenly Lord will not bring good consequences. It turns out that being a god is not so carefree. The fact that the Siming was punished has different opinions from various immortals, but no one knows the truth. Has the Heavenly Lord of the Tao Di been bewitched by a fox demon? Has the fox demon died? And is the Grand Minister Dongfang Shu a whistleblower? As soon as I arrived at the Taichan Palace, I heard the immortals whispering to each other about my father's surrender. It seems that participating in the Siming Hai Xian to exonerate my father was the right decision. For the past 300 years, my father has never revealed to me why he was punished by the Heavenly Emperor. In order to dispel the clouds and mist from 300 years ago, Dongfang Yuer also approached to inquire. But her arrival made these old immortals take a glance and leave the scene together. When Nanda Xingjuan left, he couldn't help but ask Dongfang Yuer, "Little Tongxian, which palace's fairy maid are you from? Are you dressed so shabby? Just now, I was in a big battle with a pack of wolves, and my clothes were scratched by wolf claws. After a few days without bathing, there must have been some foul odor on my body. But now, I am not even a fairy maid." Knowing that she was wearing shabby clothes, Dongfang Yu awkwardly smiled without answering. Dongfang Yuer was well aware of her unattractive appearance and disliked others, so she first sought out an inconspicuous corner to hide. But there are too many people in this morning palace, and it's my first time here. I really know where to hide. A painful cry of, "Ah!" Dongfang Yuer looked around and coincidentally bumped into a purple-clothed fairy who had arrived slowly. The fairy maid of the purple-clothed fairy asked the owner, "Yuer, where are you from? Did you bump into my fairy master?" Dongfang Yuer ignored the scolding from the little fairy maid and instead looked at the purple fairy in a trance. Wow, what a beautiful fairy! The fairy in purple is wearing a tassel bun, willow eyebrows and phoenix eyes, dressed in a purple outfit with a red cloak, which is both gentle and somewhat heroic. Dongfang Yuer thought to herself, there is still a fairy maid waiting by her side. She should be the daughter of that palace. I am the newly promoted Xiao Xianyi, who accidentally bumped into the fairy sister. Xiao Xianyi apologizes to the fairy sister. Dongfang Yuer apologizes to the fairy in purple. The purple fairy looked at Dongfang Yuer in front of her. Slim and slim, dressed in plain clothes with a few cuts and messy hair, only casually tied with white straps without any hair accessories. Wearing a shabby outfit, she couldn't stop her watery face, especially those eyes with pink halos around them, shaped like peach blossoms, giving people a feeling of being both drunk and pitiful. Actually, it was an unintentional collision. The purple orchid fairy did not blame Dongfang Yuer. When the fairy maid scolded Dongfang Yuer, she persuaded her to stop. It was an unintentional collision, no problem. Thank you, fairy sister, for not being held accountable. Fairy sister is truly beautiful, and her heart is also beautiful. The purple fairy was embarrassed by Dongfang Yuer's left and right calls from her sister. Yuer sister, which palace are you dressed in? Are you participating in the competition at Taichan Palace this time? The identity of the daughter of the god of sin cannot be revealed. Dongfang Yuer hesitated and said, "My name is Dongfang Yuer, not from the heavenly palace. I am an Ono immortal who came to participate in the Siming Sea selection. Ono immortal is the lowest level in the immortal world, that is, the most humble immortal, with only immortal records and no level." Upon hearing that Dongfang Yuer was an Ono fairy, the purple fairy showed some mercy towards her background. "Take off her cloak and tie it on Dongfang Yuer." Yuer's younger sister knew she was coming to compete. Why did she dress so shabby? She would look better if she tied a cloak for you. She also heard that during the Siming audition, the Wenxiu star Lord Sima Ao was invited as the chief examiner, and the Wenxiu star Lord Sima Ao had a nickname called Iron-Faced Selflessness. Today, I'm afraid that my younger sister's outfit will be sad. As for Sima Ao, the star of Wenxiu, my sister's qualification for the competition may be cancelled. The 4 words, iron-faced and selfless, frightened Dongfang Yuer, because her father was such a person who was very strict with her, and from childhood to adulthood, she did not receive any fatherly love from her father. The current chief examiner is also impartial, which makes Dongfang Yuer somewhat worried. But when I think of myself not even wanting my life, fighting against the wolf pack, violating my father's orders and secretly escaping from the wilderness to participate in the competition, it's just to exonerate my father and get rid of my identity as the daughter of the god of sin. However, thanks to my own clothing and makeup, I was disqualified from the competition. Sister, help me. This competition is very important to my sister. My sister is an Ono immortal and often bullied by other immortals. Only by participating in the Siming Hai Xian competition and obtaining a position can she establish herself in the immortal world without being bullied. Dongfang Yuer begged for the purple fairy with tearful eyes. How can my sister help you, sister? Asked the purple fairy to Dongfang Yuer. Sister only needs to borrow her sister's clothes, and she will definitely repay her kindness in the future, said Dongfang Yuer. No, the audition is about to begin. In case it's delayed due to this matter, my fairy wouldn't have suffered a big loss, the fairy maid of the purple orchid fairy interjected. As the fairy maid said, 3 gongs and drums sounded in the Taichan palace. All the contestants rushed to the main hall to gather, and the purple fairy was urgently pulled into the hall by the fairy maid. Dongfang Yuer could only follow, and the purple fairy entered the main hall. The structure of this work is grand, and the plot will gradually unfold. Currently, it is still very thin, but you can collect it first, fatten it up, and then watch it. End of this chapter. Chapter 5, Chapter 3. Provocation. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 5, Chapter 3. Provocation. The main hall was crowded with contestants, but for some reason the two girls started fighting. Both sides fought fiercely, one holding a sword and the other holding a divine whip. The two of them have formed a strong bond and dare to duel in the Taichan palace. On the side, Fu Shou Xingjun looked closely at Dongfang Yuer and said, "The little child immortal is the little child immortal. Both are princesses with golden skills and jade leaves. Where did Liang Zijie come from when we first met? The princess is also coming to compete. Will the princess compete fairly with us?" Dongfang Yuer was shocked and worried. Fu Shou Xingjun felt that Dongfang Yuer was too teasing and couldn't help but laugh, saying, "Don't worry, you little children immortals. The princess only wants to play for herself. With Wenxiu Xingjuan Sima Ao as the chief examiner, there's no need to worry about this." Dongfang Yuer thought to herself, why is this Wenxiu Xingjuan again? From this star's words, it can be seen that you appreciate this literary and musical star very much. It turned out to be Princess Jinyang of the Heavenly Clan, who had a dispute with Princess Dilua of a different race over their seats. Actually, everyone knows that this was initiated by Princess Deluo of a different race. The Siming Xingjuan from Taichan Palace has already reserved the seats for the contestants, and they are all arranged in the order of registration. Even if the seats are arranged incorrectly, they should not fight with the Heavenly Princess. The Princess of the Heavenly Clan is just a contestant, and if you want to make an argument, you can also find the Siming Xingjuan from the Taichan Palace. Princess Jinyang of the Heavenly Clan is wearing a split bun, a pink embroidered skirt, thin willow eyebrows, and watery big eyes. She is cute yet not tacky. Di Luo, a foreign ethnic group, was wearing a strapless long dress, draped in black light gauze, with a green silk hairpin and a few hanging from the back. She wore a thick pink dress and looked arrogant and domineering. Princess Dilua of the other race held a divine whip and quickly and fiercely swung it towards Princess Jinyang of the heavenly race. Princess Jinyang of the Heavenly Clan cleverly dodged and, unwilling to be outdone, stabbed at Princess Deluo of the other race. So the two of them fought back and forth a few times, making the guards of the two princesses itch and want to defend their own princesses. The guards on both sides were so angry that they stepped forward to protect the lord. The exotic princesses also brought over a dozen guards this time, each of whom was tall and imposing, with a ferocious appearance. The leader is like a black ox, with 2 horns growing on top of his head. However, almost all the people from other ethnic groups have strange and unattractive appearances. Surprisingly, the princess from that ethnic group has a pretty and elegant appearance, but her temper is a bit irritable. What made the immortals hesitant and uneasy was that the purpose of the exotic princess's participation in the competition. Although the coexistence between the alien and celestial tribes has been relatively peaceful for thousands of years, the alien people are arrogant and naturally aggressive, so how could they be willing to be ruled by other tribes? It is said that in the past century, the different kings have married a young and beautiful empress, and have never attended court meetings again. They have not paid tribute or paid taxes, and have not even considered the heavenly emperor. It seems that a great war is inevitable between the heavenly and foreign races. Today, Princess Di Luo of a different race came to compete with arrogance and openly provoked the princess of the heavenly clan. Isn't this a blatant act of provoking the heavenly emperor? After about 10 rounds, it was obvious that Princess Jinyang of the heavenly clan could no longer defeat Princess Deluo of the other race. She was whipped back by Princess Deluo's divine whip and had no chance of counterattack. Princess Deluo saw the other party dodging in embarrassment, raised her willow eyebrows and sneered, "Even the princess of the heavenly clan is just like that." After speaking, Princess Deluo's whip technique became even faster and more ruthless. Princess Jinyang was humiliated by a princess of another race, so angry that she could only stomp her feet. If it weren't for considering the overall situation, Princess Jinyang would really want to wave her hand and let the heavenly soldiers and generals take down all the foreigners. Now I can only blame myself for playing too much and not being able to practice kung fu at home, and being beaten to pieces by the other party. Dongfang Yuer pondered as she watched Princess Deluo's whip technique. Princess Deluo's whip technique only consists of 10 moves back and forth, and most of them are flashy but not practical. It is not difficult to break her whip. A move called White Snake spits out a message, tightly wrapped Princess Jinyang's sword, and in the end, even tied her with the sword. Diluo's mouth lifted with a proud smile, and with a tug of her internal strength, she wanted to throw Princess Jinyang and her sword out 10 zhang. The delicate Princess Jinyang's internal strength was unbeatable. Princess Deluo, who had been fighting for years, had her sword in her hand loose and her body thrown out of the opponent's internal strength. While everyone was panicking and worried about the life of Princess Jinyang, a white figure emerged from the air and caught Princess Jinyang, who was thrown out of the air with one hand. Bai Mo's figure hugged Princess Jinyang horizontally, like two people dancing and spinning in mid-air, effortlessly landing on the ground. At the same time as landing, with the other hand, brush and open the Jade Dragon fan. With a gentle flick of the Jade Dragon fan, the powerful internal force hit Princess Deluo, who was about to whip her. Princess Deluo's internal strength shook and she took 10 steps back. Princess Deluo's guard hurriedly stepped forward to support her. Moo, moo, moo. Princess Deluo's head, the Black Ox Guard, saw her own princess being humiliated and angrily pounded her chest, intending to wash the shame on her own princess. Princess Deluo participated in the selection of the Minister of Rites, provoked Princess Jinyang, humiliated the people of the heavenly clan, with the aim of testing the strength of the heavenly clan. Just as she was able to defeat Princess Jinyang with just 10 moves, she was secretly having fun. The people of the heavenly clan are just like that. If a major battle is imminent, the heavenly clan may not necessarily win. But I didn't know that I was too happy too early. A white figure, with just a gentle flick of the fan in his hand, was forced back 10 zhang by the opponent's internal strength. It seems that the person's internal strength is unfathomable. At this thought, Princess Deluo called out to the Black Bull Guard who was about to come forward to fight. Okay, okay. The white figure appeared in the air, making the immortals clap and cheer. The white figure is said to be the selfless and iron-faced Wenxiu Star Lord. Sima Ao. Princess Jinyang saw in fear that Sima Ao, the Star Lord of Simu Wenxiu, had saved her. At that moment, Princess Jinyang unconsciously softened her body, tightly embracing Sima Ao's neck with both hands. Her watery and spiritual eyes stared at Sima Ao with infatuation, as if she was in the scorching peach blossoms, smelling the faint fragrance of peach blossoms. Jinyoung wishes this life to be held by Sima Ao like this. Sima Ao put down Princess Jinyoung in his arms and retrieved his jade dragon fan. Politely bow to the contestants present, without forgetting to curl a beautiful curve at the corner of their mouth. I am Sima Ao, the chief examiner of this Siming Hai Xian. Wenxiu Xingjuan. As soon as she spoke, Dongfang Yuer was stunned. When Dongfang Yuer learned from Nayland Fairy that Sima Ao, the Star Lord of Wenxiu, had a nickname called Iron-Faced Selflessness, her mind would associate him with this appearance. At the same age as his father, with white buns and straight beard, he wore a serious face all day long. However, upon seeing it today, Sima Ao, the Star Lord of Wenxiu, was just like this. Dressed in a white robe, with a sharp and handsome face, and a pair of passionate eyes under thick eyebrows, the corners of the mouth sometimes curl up in a smile, a tall figure, holding a folding fan, exuding an ethereal aura. Hey, so handsome, but she looks like the lover in the dreams of millions of girls. Dongfang Yuer had never seen such a handsome man before, and couldn't help but stare at him with a drunken expression, but he quickly returned to normal. Damn it, a young man with unbroken milk is coming to be the chief examiner. There is no one in the heavenly clan who can do it. To make my princess wait for so long. Princess Dilua, the Black Ox Guard, impatiently cursed when Sima Ao introduced her identity. As soon as the Black Bull Guard spoke wildly, the more than 10 guards of the Wing clan laughed and even Princess Deluo slightly mocked. Sima Ao explained to the contestants that being late was due to receiving a summons from the Heavenly Emperor. As the saying goes, Xiao Siming handed over the list of Siming candidates to the Heavenly Lord, who opened it and carefully examined it. Dongfang Yuer on the list made Tianjun quite sensitive, so he called his civil servant Jiayan and invited Emperor Donghua to come to Lingxiao Hall. Jiayan followed the order and arrived at the Taichin Palace, but was overwhelmed. Emperor Donghua returned to his hometown of Blue Sea and Sangling for a stay, and handed over the selection of the Siming Hai Xian to Emperor Wenxiu, Sima Ao. How could one entrust the affairs of their own inner mansion to the people of another mansion and return to the Blue Sea and Green Spirit residence without any worries? The Heavenly Lord was puzzled and had no choice but to send Jia Yan to invite Sima Ao to the Lingxiao Hall. Many times it's in the middle of the night when typing, and there may be missing or incorrect words due to dizziness. Readers can help point them out, and the pointed out errors may not be easily corrected because they need to find an editor to activate the modification function. End of this chapter. Chapter 6. You fall into a mouth. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 6. You fall into a mouth. Princess Deluo is coming to Taichin Palace to participate in the competition or to start a war this time. Sima Ao walked calmly with a jade dragon fan. Princess Deluo and the dozen or so guards asked with a hint of sternness. Princess Deluo and her dozen or so guards did not expect that Sima Ao, the Wenxiu Star Lord, would ask themselves so directly. They immediately stopped mocking and were stunned. It is well known that the alien race wants to become independent, and the heavenly race that participated in this competition has clearly guessed. What does Wenxiu Xingjuan mean by asking this question? If Princess Deluo is participating in the competition, then she must restrain her family's indulgence, abide by the rules of the competition, and obey the will of the heavenly clan. If Princess Deluo is going to war, then please ask Princess Deluo to return to the Wing clan as soon as possible, and ask the other king to give a letter of war. The heavenly clan will not be cowardly and will definitely go to war. Sima Ao spoke sharply and firmly, telling Princess Deluo whether the central heavenly clan is afraid of your small alien race. Sure enough, Princess Deluo and her dozen or so guards looked at each other timidly and became honest. Although the alien race has long had the intention to declare war and independence, they do not have the courage to do so until the strength of the heavenly clan is fully understood. Princess Deluo thought to herself that the heavenly clan was a major clan in the central region, and it was necessary to be careful if a small alien tribe wanted to go to war with the heavenly clan. Of course I'm here to participate. It's just that the seats arranged by your heavenly clan are very unsatisfactory to me. Is this how your heavenly clan treats guests? Sima Ao suddenly laughed heartily, as if laughing at Princess Deluo's foolishness. Princess Delo, you forgot that you are now a contestant, not a guest invited by our heavenly clan. Contestants should fulfill their duties as contestants, abide by the competition rules. If you do not follow the competition rules, as the main examiner, I will have to cancel your eligibility to participate. The words of Wenxiu Xingjuan silenced the foreign race. Witnessing the elegance of Sima Ao, the Star Lord of Wenxiu, in just a few words, the arrogant aura of Princess Deluo and the dozen or so guards stirred up Dongfang Yuer's youthful affection for Sima Ao. Princess Jinyang excitedly took the hand of the fairy maid beside her and asked, "Qing'er, do you think Wenxiu Xingjuan also likes me? Does he vent his anger on me now?" Of course, my princess is the cutest princess of the heavenly clan. The immortals who pursue the princess line up from the Lingxiao Palace to the Taichun Palace. The Wenxiu Xingjuan is no exception. The fairy maid Qing'er saw her princess's face blushing with shyness, so she started teasing her. Princess Jinyang covered her red face with both hands and angrily said, "Shy, don't laugh at them. Now, contestants, please find your seats and sit down. We are about to start the roll call." The speaker was the young Siming from Taichun Palace, who appeared on the platform when Sima Ao rushed out to rescue Princess Jinyang. To the surprise of the contestants, there was also a female immortal standing next to Xiao Siming in Siming's uniform. This female immortal's name is Su Siming, and she is the only female Siming among the Siming Star Kings. She used to be the dressing maid of Huan Tianho. Sort the seats and divide them into 4 groups. The first group consists of the nobles of the heavenly clan, such as the children of princesses, princes, and powerful deities, ministers, the Nalan Fairy. The second group consists of high-ranking immortals, such as the Southern Dipper Star Lord, the Blessing and Longevity Star Lord, etc. The third group consists of people from other tribes, such as the Foreign and Feather tribes. The fourth group consists of humble immortals and newly promoted little child immortals. Princess Jinyang, needless to say, sat in the first seat of the first group. Although the Purple Orchid Fairy was not a princess, she was a noble of the heavenly clan, so she also sat in the second row of the first group. Princess Delo sat in the first seat of the third group. Dongfang Yuer, of course, sat in the fourth group. The contestants quickly found their seats and sat down. When Xiao Siming and Lang Lang call out the names, the contestants who read their names will respond with a arrival. When Xiao Siming was the first to recite Princess Jinyang, Princess Deluo glanced at Princess Jinyang. When Xiao Siming remembered Princess Deluo, Princess Jinyang also gave Princess Deluo a blank glance and made a funny face. Causing Princess Deluo to be angry, she glanced at Princess Jinyang again. Princess Jinyang proudly glanced at Princess Deluo and made a gesture of wanting to vomit. The two princesses have finally formed a bond this time. Due to Dongfang Yuer's latest registration, her name is at the end of the list. In fact, Sima Ao had already noticed Dongfang Yuer, but he did not know that this person was Dongfang Yuer. Sima Ao saw that Dongfang Yuer's hair was not combed, like a chicken coop. She was wearing a spacious green shirt, which looked like a modified version of men's clothing. The green shirt was torn a few times. Fortunately there was still a red cloak tied outside, so it didn't make people look so casual. Although it is currently a Siming Hai Xian, not a beauty pageant, Jichangshan is the land of the immortal family, and the land of the immortal family should be filled with immortal energy. It's not appropriate for a shabby beggar to come to the Taichun Palace to join in the fun. Sima Ao couldn't help but hold the fan and walk towards Dongfang Yuer's seat, thinking of cancelling Dongfang Yuer's qualification for the competition. Just as Sima Ao walked to Dongfang Yuer's seat, the 4 words, Dongfang Yuer, echoed in the main hall, and Dongfang Yuer timidly responded, "Arrive." Sima Ao was stunned, unable to believe his own eyes. What is she, Dongfang Yuer? She is the person that Emperor Donghua wants to protect on his own. Sima Aodong learned that he was appointed as the chief examiner for the Siming Hai Xian because he was entrusted by Emperor Donghua to secretly protect someone named Dongfang Yuer. At that time, I was very curious and pondered what kind of divinity Dongfang Yuer was. If she could receive the favor of the Emperor of Donghua, perhaps she would be a fairy who could amaze people with her graceful figure like a goose. When I saw Dongfang Yuer today, she looked like this. Did you fall into the pit? Sima Ao asked coldly, looking down. The words caused the immortals to burst into laughter. Before Sima Ao could say this, Dongfang Yuer had a hint of girlish affection for Sima Ao. Unexpectedly, Sima Ao, with his graceful demeanor, made fun of herself in front of the immortals. You just fell into the pit. Sima Ao was not angry with Dongfang Yuer's retort, but instead raised a beautiful curve at the corner of his mouth. With a hint of humor, he said, "Oh, this little fairy is quite sharp and sharp." Dongfang Yuer lowered her head and ignored Sima Ao, knowing that not taking a shower for a few days was indeed a bit. Dongfang Yuer was entrusted by Emperor Donghua to take care of herself, and Sima Ao did not cancel Dongfang Yuer's eligibility to participate in the competition. This Siming audition will be divided into 3 competitions: written test, legal test, and training. As it cannot be completed in just a few hours or a day, accommodation must be arranged accordingly. There are over 100 palaces, over 200 courtyards, and over 500 houses in the Taichin Palace. The Taichin Palace is far less majestic than the Ziwei Palace of the Heavenly Lord, shrouded in clouds and mist. It is the most ordinary fairy palace in the 9 heavens. Due to Emperor Donghua's lack of desires and purity, he is still a lonely family to this day. Emperor Donghua is still very low-key and loves tranquility. So there are very few palace maids in Taichin Palace. Most palaces, courtyards, and houses are empty and covered in dust. It was also recently that the Eastern Emperor ordered the palace maids to tidy up and provide accommodation for the contestants in order to welcome the Siming audition. Any contestant with high status will be given a palace by Siming Xingjuan, and those with low status will be hospitalized. In addition, Siming Xingjuan will also assign 2 palace maids to serve each contestant. The courtyard where Dongfang Yuer lives is called Shuxian Yuan, with 2 palace maids leading the way and Dongfang Yuer following behind. I could smell the fragrance of gardenia from a distance before reaching the book fragrance garden, and upon entering, I saw 3 blooming gardenia flowers. There is also a large stone platform under the gardenia tree, which is matched with 4 stone benches, just enough to fit into a table of mahjong. End of this chapter. Chapter 7. Entrusted by others. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 7. Entrusted by others. Gently pushing open the door, the antique room caught the eye of Dongfang Yuer. Furniture made of sandalwood, pink and purple bed curtains, white porcelain tea utensils, screens of birds facing the phoenix, and strands of gardenia fragrance. Perhaps feeling a lot, Dongfang Yuer felt a pang of sadness in her heart, only because she was the daughter of the god of sin and could only live in the vast and uninhabited wilderness, where she could only fight against hungry wolves and ferocious beasts every day. 2 palace maids saw Dongfang Yuer looking very sad, and they looked at each other, thinking that Dongfang Yuer was not satisfied with this courtyard. Are the immortals dissatisfied with this residence? Do they want to change? Dongfang Yuer hurriedly wiped away the tears from the corners of her eyes and replied, "Oh, satisfied. Can you prepare a bucket of hot water for me? I want to take a hot bath." "Yes, immortal." The 2 palace maids bowed to Dongfang Yuer and went to prepare hot water for her. Due to not taking a shower for several days and feeling itchy, Dongfang Yuer immediately instructed the palace maid to prepare a hot bath, and then took out the purple orchid fairy from her bag to give her flowing immortal skirt. When Princess Jinyang and Princess Deluo were fighting, the purple orchid fairy ordered her fairy maid to give the flowing fairy skirt with fairy aura to Dongfang Yuer. Dongfang Yuer looked at the ethereal flowing fairy dress. It seemed that the purple orchid fairy truly regarded herself as her own younger sister. This favor needs to be repaid. The palace maid has prepared the hot water, and Dongfang Yuer went to the yard to pick some gardenia petals. She put the petals into the hot water in the bathtub, and the hot steam emitted a refreshing fragrance. Two palace maids were about to undress Dongfang Yuer, but she was not used to being served, so she sent the two palace maids away. Watching the palace maid leave, Dongfang Yuer happily untied her old and smelly clothes, stepped into the wooden barrel, and leaned her head against the edge of the barrel, excitedly splashing water. Due to the wilderness being a dry land, it is difficult to drink water, let alone take a bath with a large bucket of water. I used to think that bathing could only run to rivers and streams, and every time I bathed, I had to worry about being peeped at by people and afraid of being attacked by hungry wolves and ferocious beasts. Now I can finally take a bath with peace of mind. How can I let it go? I can soak as long as I want, and slowly close my eyes. Before long, Dongfang Yuer fell asleep. In her dream, Dongfang Yuer woke up feeling a bit cold. The bath water had already cooled down, and she instinctively hugged her arm. Cough, how could you open the door without seeing anyone? Dongfang Yuer's sensitive ears heard movement outside the courtyard, and she flew up in panic. She cast a spell, and the flowing fairy skirt moved on its own. Dongfang Yu reached out with both hands and quickly put on the flowing immortal skirt, holding the white death sword, and rushed out. Coming towards him was the Wensu Star Lord. Sima Ao. Why are you running out with your head draped and your white death sword in hand, angry and fierce? Sima Ao looked at Dongfang Yuer rushing towards him with a surprised expression on his face. Dongfang Yuer's appearance was also quite impressive. A head of wet and flowing hair, emitting a faint fragrance of gardenia flowers, dressed in a fairy-like flowing fairy skirt. You're disheveled, holding a white death sword in your hand, and running out in anger. What happened? I thought there was an assassin, so. Dongfang Yuer timidly said, knowing that she was abrupt. Quickly bowed to Sima Ao and invited him into the room. Assassin. There wouldn't be anyone so bold and reckless in the Taichan Palace, but it's better to be cautious. As Sima Ao spoke, he fanned into the room and saw Dongfang Yuer alone on the floor. Where had the two palace maids assigned to her gone? No need to ask, it must be laziness. Seeing that this master is new and so easy to bully. Dongfang Yuer's background is also pitiful, no wonder Donghua Emperor wants to secretly protect her. Sima Ao showed a little more affection towards Dongfang Yu. The visitor is the guest. The two palace maids were sent away by themselves, so the task of brewing tea needs to be done by oneself. Dongfang Yu has never done the work of brewing tea since childhood, and now she is in a hurry when it comes to brewing tea. I wonder why Wensu Xingjuan came to Xuxian Garden today. Of course, coming to Book Fragrance Garden is to visit you. When Sima Ao meaningfully said to come to the Book Fragrance Garden to look at herself, Dongfang Yuer's face instantly turned red. Look at me, what do you think I'm doing? Unfortunately, Dongfang Yuer must have misunderstood what she meant to her. I'm here to tell you that Sima Ao is entrusted by others to secretly protect you and will provide you with some care or assistance in daily life, Sima Ao said seriously, dispelling Dongfang Yuer's misunderstanding. Dongfang Yuer was very skeptical of Sima Ao's words and was entrusted by others. On whose behalf? I don't know anyone in this 9 heavens, who would be so kind to care for me. To be entrusted by others, to whom? Sima Ao was stunned by Dongfang Yuer's question. He was entrusted by Emperor Donghua, but Emperor Donghua had instructed that the matter was of great importance and could not be revealed. Sima Ao looked embarrassed and said, as for who it is, you will know in the future. At this moment, while serving Dongfang Yuer, the two palace maids lazily returned. Two palace maids knelt down nervously when they saw Sima Ao, begging him not to punish them. Dongfang Yuer saw Sima Ao scolding the two palace maids and approached to plead with them, saying, "Don't blame them, Wen Su Xingjuan. I asked them to rest. I don't really like to be served." Sima Ao looked at Dongfang Yuer thoughtfully, and it was really interesting that someone didn't like being served. Surprisingly, the immortal begged for mercy on your behalf, so I won't pursue it, but let's not do it again. Two palace maids, upon hearing the Wen Chu Xingjun, no longer pursued themselves and were worried that the demoted boulder would fall to the ground. They kowtowed gratefully to Dongfang Yuer. On the contrary, Dongfang Yuer was stunned. She was not used to others doing this, and besides, she didn't help the two palace maids anything, just told the truth. Dongfang Yuer quickly helped up the two palace maids. Seeing that they were quite delicate and likable, she asked them what their names were. The two palace maids genuinely liked Dongfang Yuer and responded with a pure expression, "The fairy maid's name is Dingxiang." Another palace maid snatched up the words and said, "The fairy maid's name is Yuzhu." "Strange, your names are all drug names, who came up with them?" The names of the palace maids in Taichun Palace were all given by Emperor Donghua, and they were all names for medicine and flowers. Dongfang Yuer's face slightly changed when she heard Donghua Emperor. She didn't understand that Donghua Emperor, this wise and powerful god, wouldn't she see that her father was unjustly accused? Why didn't Emperor Donghua make an offer to his father? It was fortunate that his father had followed him for thousands of years. Dingxiang and Yuzhu saw that Dongfang Yuer's hair was still wet. They pushed and pulled Dongfang Yuer to the dressing table and sat down, wiping her dry. They also tied Dongfang Yuer into a peach blossom bun and inserted a beautiful hairpin. Dongfang Yuer's dress, combined with the tailor-made flowing immortal skirt, is no longer like a person falling into a pit, but rather a fairy as light as a goose, giving people a stunning glance. Dongfang Yuer, with her lilacs, Yuer, and the tailored flowing immortal skirt, has transformed into a person, no longer like someone who fell into a pit. Sima Ao saw that he had been staying long enough and had to go to another palace to inspect. He stood up and bid farewell to Dongfang Yuer, and woke her up before leaving. Nowadays, there is a mix of good and bad in Taichun Palace, so one should be cautious. Dongfang Yuer understands the meaning of this sentence. Nowadays, many participants in the Taichun Palace are from the Wing clan or other clans sent by insiders, all under the guise of participating in the competition, inquiring about the strength of the heavenly clan. Although I am currently the daughter of the god of sin, I am also a member of the heavenly clan. Seeing my mother's family in danger, I also came up with a plan to help her out. End of this chapter. Chapter 8. Golden Crow Bird. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 8. Golden Crow Bird. This morning, a strange phenomenon appeared in the sky of Jichangshan. There were 9 red days, and the sky was full of red light. There was also a raging fire on the horizon. Instantly, the 9 heavens were scorching hot and uncomfortable, as if being roasted by fire. The immortals were extremely frightened. The contestants from Taichun Palace were also in a frenzy, saying, "Why did the 9 heavens suddenly change?" Looking up, it turned out that 9 golden crows were worshipping. The golden crow bird was howling in anger, breaking free from the shackles on its feet. Strange. Strange. What's going on in Jichangshan today? How could the golden crow bird appear in the sky of Jiuchongtian? In the annals of divine history, it is clearly recorded that during the flood and famine, the 10 sons of the Eastern Emperor violated the heavenly pact and traveled to the vast land of ancient times for 10 days, leaving their lives devastated. The Eastern Emperor's punishment was too lenient, which caused dissatisfaction among Kwa Fu and led to his daily actions. The 10 sons of the Eastern Emperor killed Kwa Fu, but Ho Yi was furious and made arrows to shoot and kill the 9 sons of the Eastern Emperor. Jinwu Bird. The immortals were puzzled for a long time. Didn't the golden crow bird be shot by Ho Yi? Why did it appear in the sky of the 9 heavens today just as the immortals were lost in thought? Sima Ao walked proudly with a folding fan in hand, accompanied by Xiao Siming and Su Siming. Don't panic, immortals. Today, the appearance of the golden crow bird in the 9 heavens was deliberately arranged by our Star Lord. Sima Ao's words were like a flash of thunder, shocking all the immortals. Just now, there was an uproar that turned into silence. The little Wensu Star Lord has such great power, daring to release a 1,000,000-year annuity bird that is still in the 9 heavens. What is his purpose? Just as the immortals were puzzled, Sima Ao added. Today's release of the golden crow bird is intended to complement today's written test. Speaking of which, when the Heavenly Lord summoned Sima Ao that day, he was not only worried about Dongfang Yuer from the list of participants in the Siming audition. Dongfang Yuer reminds Tianjun of Dongfang sculpture, wondering if there is any connection between Dongfang Yuer and Dongfang sculpture. The ugly incident 300 years ago finally subsided, and I don't want to stir up any trouble again, so I want to cancel Dongfang Yuer's participation qualification. However, on that day, when you saw the second prince of the Feather Clan, Gongziyu, and the exotic princess Dilua on the competition list, it made the Heavenly Lord even more worried. The Heavenly Lord is well aware that after thousands of years of interaction between the alien race and the heavenly race, the alien king began to become arrogant when he succeeded to the heavenly throne. This century-old king is even more reckless. If he doesn't come to worship, it's okay. If he doesn't pay tribute yet, he understands that he will break away from the heavenly clan, but there is no reason to do so yet. Now the alien race is deliberately trying to win over the Feather Tribe, with the obvious goal of forming an alliance with the Feather Tribe to attack the Heavenly Tribe. Sima Ao guessed on the way to Miansheng that the Heavenly Lord had summoned him to cancel the participation qualifications of Dongfang Yuer, Gongziyu, and Princess Deluo. But none of these 3 people can be cancelled. I was entrusted by Emperor Donghua to secretly protect Dongfang Yuer, so Dongfang Yuer naturally cannot cancel her qualification for the competition. Gongziyu and Di Luogong cannot cancel their eligibility to participate in the competition. The reason why the Yu clan and the Yi king have not joined forces to attack the Tian clan is because they have not yet found a reason to attack the Tian clan and have not fully understood their strength. What should I do? Arriving at the Lingxiao Hall, Sima Ao saw the ants on the hot pot of the Heavenly Lord, walking back and forth with his hands behind his back. Does Sima Ao know that the Heavenly Lord is not in a hurry? Please Emperor Donghua, he has returned to his hometown with the blue sea and clear spirits. I went to invite Emperor Wenchang again, but he descended to the mortal world. The Heavenly Lord always feels that Emperor Donghua and Emperor Wenchang deliberately avoid themselves. The Heavenly Lord is both anxious, angry, and powerless. The reason why the 3 realms have been able to maintain long-term peace for thousands of years is thanks to the prestige of Emperor Donghua and Emperor Wenchang. Sima Ao's spirit moved and a seductive smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. He came up with a good plan. Sima Ao first bowed to the Heavenly Lord as a ruler and minister before speaking. Heavenly Lord, there is no need to worry. Tianjun looked at Sima Ao in amazement and asked, Wensu Xingjuan knows why I am worried. How could the little fate officer be seen by the different king and the Feather King? They would never let their own children participate in the competition. Today, both the different king and the Feather King sent their own children to participate, and of course, the purpose was not to win the fate officer. The different king wanted to win the Feather King alliance to attack the Heavenly Clan, which is well known, but why did the different king hesitate to attack the Heavenly Clan? The Heavenly King knows the reason for this. Sima Ao asked confidently. Wensu Xingjuan, please speak. Due to the suspicious nature of the alien king, he dare not easily break with the Heavenly Clan until he has a clear understanding of its strength. The reason why he is so bold and arrogant towards the Heavenly Clan is that he just wants to tell other tribes to form an alliance with him to fight against the Heavenly Clan. This time, the Alien King and the Feather King sent their own children to participate in the competition, which is nothing more than to use the opportunity to explore the Heavenly Clan's strength. Why don't we just follow the plan and let them see our Heavenly Clan's strength? Sima Ao fanned as he spoke, and in the final sentence, his tone became more emphasized, to make the Heavenly Lord believe in him and accept his ideas. Sima Ao's words awakened the foolish Heavenly Lord. The Heavenly Lord paused and said, "What's the clever plan of Wen Chu Xing Jun?" Sima Ao leaned close to the ear of the Heavenly Lord and muttered a few words. The Heavenly Lord was overjoyed and praised, "Wonderful." In fact, now Jichangshan has released 9 golden crow birds, which is the Heavenly Lord praising Sima Ao's clever plan. Sima Ao released the golden crow bird to cooperate with today's written test, which confused Princess Dilua and Prince Yu. They couldn't figure out what medicine the Wensu Star Lord Sima Ao was selling in the gourd. The alien race doesn't understand, it's just a written test for themselves, and it would take a lot of effort to release the imprisoned million-year-old bird. Isn't this a big deal of trouble? Old immortals like Nanda Xingjuan and Fusho Xingjuan know that Sima Ao's intention is not to drink. The old immortal stroked his beard and praised, "Amazing. Amazing." The inexperienced child fairy couldn't figure it out. What is the relationship between this written test and the golden crow bird? Perhaps the questions in the later written test are related to the golden crow bird. Dongfang Yuer, who has always had a high level of intelligence, is unaware of Sima Ao's intention to release the golden crow this time. So Princess Jinyang, who has been living a luxurious life since childhood, doesn't even care about the affairs of the Heavenly Clan. This competition is only aimed at Sima Ao. When I heard that Sima Ao was serving as the chief examiner for the Siming Hai Xian, I was the first to register, so whenever Sima Ao made any decisions, Princess Jinyang would applaud and cheer. Just like, when she saw the appearance of the golden crow bird in Jichangshan, the heat made Princess Jinyang furious, cursing who was so bold to release the golden crow bird. When Sima Ao reported that he released the golden crow bird himself, it was to cooperate with the written test of the competition. Princess Jinyang, however, changed her smile and praised Sima Ao, saying, "It's amazing that these despicable foreigners will be roasted as skewers." The maidservant beside her also obeyed this princess. The written test is now starting. The venue for today's written test is set at the Tianting platform. "Please follow and choose me," said Xiao Siming loudly, and then led the participants to the Tianting platform. All the immortals know that the Heavenly Court is in charge of the affairs of the Heavenly Realm, and the administrative center of the Heavenly Realm is very majestic. Only the 3rd rank or above immortal officials can enter. So the Heavenly Court Terrace is usually open for major conference elections, grand ceremonies, legal ceremonies, and auditions. Today's small written test was set here. It seems that the Heavenly Lord attaches great importance to this Siming audition. The contestants walked steadily, but their hearts were uneasy, and they followed Xiao Siming to the Heavenly Court Terrace. Because the Heavenly Court platform is facing 9 golden crows, Yen warmly shares how to take the written test. End of this chapter. Chapter 9. Written examination. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 9 Written examination. The Heavenly Court Terrace is at its highest point, originally vast and vast. Now, 9 golden crow birds have become revered and transformed into a vast sea of fire, with the most visible being the 4 pillars supporting the sky. On each pillar, there are 4 divine beasts carved, namely the blue dragon, white tiger, vermilion bird, and Xuanwu, symbolizing that the 4 divine beasts are guarding each side. The Heavenly Court Terrace has already been arranged, and the test tables are arranged in 3 groups, with a pavilion of 1 meter between each group. The top left corner of the test table is neatly arranged with the 4 treasures of writing and ink, and each participant's name is pasted on the table surface. Participants only need to sit down by name. This is the examination room for today's written test, and all participants are seated in their own names, said Xiao Siming. What? The written test is here, with 9 golden crows on top of our heads. Does Siming Xingjuan want us to take the exam or make us grilled skewers? It was Prince Yu, the second prince of the Yu clan, who said this. The Yuzu people are most afraid of fire. When the golden crow appeared in Jichangshan, Gongzi Yu was scared to death by the golden crow bird. Young Master Yu never imagined that the heavenly clan would have golden crow birds, and there were also 9. It seems that the strength of the heavenly clan cannot be ignored. Surprisingly, the second prince is so indignant. You can choose not to take the written test this time. Sima Ao approached Gongzi Yu with a fan and responded disdainfully. Gongzi Yu knows that Sima Ao is using aggressive tactics and wants to give up this competition on his own, dreaming. My prince insists on taking the exam. Young Master Yu, holding a white feather fan, responded with disdain and followed the first person into the exam room. Sima Ao's mouth curved into a cunning smile and said, which contestant still has doubts? You can choose to withdraw from the competition, don't let yourself be wronged. When Sima Ao said these words, his gaze deliberately turned towards Princess Deluo, which was a sarcasm. Princess Deluo's noble status did not need to suffer this hardship. Princess Deluo naturally understood and angrily glanced at Sima Ao, then shook her sleeves and entered the test room as the second one. Princess, the prince has entered the examination room first. There was a commotion just now, but now everything has fallen silent. He has entered the examination room one by one. This time, the ranking was not based on identity level. Siming Xingjuan randomly drew lots to rank, and it happened that the purple orchid fairy was sitting in front of Gongzi Yu, while Dongfang Yuer was sitting behind Gongzi Yu. Now all the contestants have sat down according to their own names. Let me explain the exam rules first. The exam time is 2 incense sticks, and whoever abandons the seat during these 2 incense sticks will be considered as automatically forfeiting the competition. Whoever can persist and do the right test questions will be eligible to participate in the next round of the French exam. Such rules, Sima Ao, seem to test the endurance of the contestants. Anyone who can be promoted to immortality will not lack some writing skills. Siming Xingjuan and Wenxiu Xingjuan have different requirements for writing and ink. Anyone who has a bit of writing and ink is fine, but Siming Xingjuan needs more endurance because becoming a member of Siming Xingjuan requires a birth experience. The exam officially begins, waiting for Su Siming to issue the bamboo scroll. Dongfang Yuer picked up the bamboo roll and glanced at it briefly, murmuring confidently, The test questions are not difficult. Dongfang Yuer smiled effortlessly and reached out to pick up her brush. Oh my! Oh my! Dongfang Yuer couldn't lift the brush holder even with all her strength. Dongfang Yu was depressed, and there was nothing magical about this. Although the pen holder was made of jade, the pen head was just rabbit hair, so it couldn't be lifted. Dongfang Yuer looked around and realized that not only was her pen too heavy to lift, but the pens of other contestants were also equally heavy, and she couldn't lift them with all her strength, just like herself. The pens in your hands, contestants, are they very heavy? Is it true that the pens in your hands are full? They are 1,000-pound divine pen. If you want the divine pen to obey your command, you must use your magic to press it. If your magic cannot press its divine power, then you don't need to take the exam. You won't pass the first level, explained Xiao Siming. Divine brush. The contestants looked at it in surprise. This ordinary jade brush could be 1,000-pound divine brush. Dongfang Yuer gathered her strength to cast spells on the divine brush, silently reciting, "The divine brush is for my use." The divine pen flew out of the pen holder and spiritually flew into the hands of Dongfang Yuer, who easily caught it. Hey! Strangely, this time the divine brush has become as light as a feather and can be easily mastered. Sima Ao, who had been observing secretly, looked at Dongfang Yuer in shock. He didn't expect her magical power to be so profound. Those who can easily wield the divine pen must be immortal beings with profound magical power, just like old immortals like Nanda Xingjuan and Fusho Xingjuan. Many contestants tried their best to summon the magic pen, and the proud Princess Delo also spent 9 cows trying to pick it up. A few young child immortals with weak magic were unable to pick up their magic pens and were mercilessly driven out of the examination room by Sima Ao, causing Princess Jinyang's face to turn pale in panic. It's over, it's embarrassing for a princess who can't even lift a pen. She's still embarrassing in front of Sima Ao. Princess Jinyang's fairy maid knew that the princess would lose face in front of Wensu Xingjuan this time and was afraid of not being able to survive. She nervously winked at Princess Jinyang. Princess Jinyang finally understood the meaning of the fairy maid. Oh my, it's so hot. Oh my, so thirsty. It's so uncomfortable. Princess Jinyang pretended to be on the verge of death from intense heat, but suddenly fainted. Su Siming and Xiao Siming were frightened and their faces were flustered. What happened to the princess and how to explain it to the Empress Dowager? The Empress Dowager doted on this niece the most. Sima Ao also advised Princess Jinyang to give up the competition before the competition. Not everyone can handle the heat of Jinwu. Princess Jinyang cannot seize an opportunity to showcase herself in Sima Ao. How can she give up? I will never give up the competition. What's so scary about the golden crow bird? Rest assured that I will definitely win the competition, Princess Jinyang insisted with a pout. Sima Ao saw that the princess was so persistent that he had no choice but to stop persuading her. But unexpectedly, the princess fainted from heatstroke. Sima Ao was afraid that Princess Jinyang would have an accident, so he immediately infused some immortal energy into Princess Jinyang. Princess Jinyang was secretly amused when Sima Ao brought herself the elixir of immortality. She continued to pretend to be weak and tightly hugged Sima Ao with both hands. Feeling uncomfortable, groaned. Sima Ao took Princess Jinyang down from the heavenly court platform and handed her over to 2 guards to escort her back to the Ziwei Palace. When Sima Ao wanted to hand over the princess to the guards, no matter how hard he tried, he couldn't break Princess Jinyang's hand. Humph, the heavenly princess is so useless. Princess Deluo sneered. Jinyang suddenly fainted and was so frightened that Gongziyu's face turned pale. He lifted the platform and looked up at the 9 golden crow birds. Ah! The golden crow bird was howling angrily, its call was chilling, and the raging fire on that day was getting hotter and hotter. These 9 days are getting hotter and hotter, with trees, flowers and plants withering and dying from the sun, and turtle-shaped cracks appearing on the ground. Immortals with high magic power can still protect their bodies with immortal magic, while those with low magic power are so hot that they keep wiping their sweat. Immortal maids without magic power hide and drink water desperately to quench their thirst. Dongfang Yuer grew up in a harsh and wild environment, and was able to withstand the heat. Therefore, she was not affected and was the first to complete the written test. Dare to tease my purple orchid sister, I'll make you look good today. Dongfang Yuer said, casting a spell at Princess Yu with the white feather fan in her hand. Fire! Fire! It's amazing! Young Master Yu exclaimed in terror. The white feather fan caught fire and caused a sensation, causing panic among the contestants. Don't panic, if you can't persist, you can abandon the competition and leave. As soon as Sima Ao spoke, Gongziyu was the first to abandon the competition. It's important to save his life. Why are you going? Princess Deluo sat on the left side of Gongziyu and called out to Gongziyu, who was about to leave. Before the competition, Gongziyu had already made an agreement with Dilua that he would come to challenge the heavenly clan and inquire about their strength. Unexpectedly, just as the first competition began, Gongziyu was scared out of his wits by the golden crow bird and wanted to abandon the competition. Why go? Run for your life. Young Master Yu replied. It's really useless. Princess Deluo cursed softly. Gongziyu raised his head, and then some people abandoned the competition one after another, most of whom were old immortals. In fact, the participation of the old immortals is just for the sake of liveliness. The little Siming Star Lord, the old immortals and Ben are not interested in it. Some old immortals already hold official positions, and now it's not worth risking their lives for the sake of the small Siming Star Lord. In the end, only Little Boy Immortal remained. Those who had just been promoted to immortality had to risk their lives to compete for an immortal position in the immortal realm. End of this chapter. Chapter 10. Future Empresses. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 10. Future Empresses. The time for the 2 incense sticks has passed, so we will collect them together and the written test will officially end. 9 golden crow birds were taken away by the 9 immortal envoys. At first, the golden bird was still resisting with anger. The immortal envoys recited a sentence and cast a spell. The fierce and angry golden crow birds transformed into obedient little sparrows and obediently returned to the immortal's iron cage. The red sun in the sky disappeared, the raging flames on the horizon also extinguished, and the heat began to gradually decrease. Everything returned to normal. After the written test, Dongfang Yuer and Purple Orchid Fairy teamed up and walked down the heavenly court platform, returning to their residence in the Taichan Palace. Stop, why did the fairy burn my white feather fan? Gongziyu blocked the path of Dongfang Yuer and the Purple Orchid Fairy with one hand. While questioning Dongfang Yuer, he cast a seductive glance at the Purple Orchid Fairy. The Purple Orchid Fairy was extremely disgusted with Gongziyu and deliberately avoided his gaze, turning her head to another one. Gongziyu put his mouth closer to his ear with even more audacity and said vaguely, "Purple Orchid Fairy, we have met again." Young Master Yu's ambiguous words are hard to hear, and Dongfang Yu is really disgusting to the point of not being able to listen. "Who are you?" Gongziyu shook his white feather fan and replied, "Second Prince of the Yu clan." Gongziyu. Oh. It turns out that the second prince of the Yu clan has seen the second prince in the lower field, Dongfang Yuer. Dongfang Yuer bowed to the young Master Yu. Gongziyu then turned the gaze of the Purple Orchid Fairy to Dongfang Yuer and exclaimed, "The fairies of Jichangshan are beautiful, one by one. It seems that my prince's visit to Jichangshan for marriage proposal is right. Why did the second prince insist that I burned your white feather fan?" "It was clearly the fault of the golden crow bird," asked Dongfang Yuer. "Do you still want to deny that if my white feather fan is ignited by the heat released by the golden crow bird, not only will my white feather fan catch fire, but other fans and clothing will also catch fire? I also know that the golden crow bird is very hot, but it is not enough to reach the boiling point of natural fire. Hee hee. Even if the second prince's white feather fan is not ignited by the heat of the golden crow bird, we cannot wrongly accuse Xiao Xian. Xiao Xian has no grudges with the second prince. Why burn the second prince's white feather fan? It's up to you to ask yourself." The young master clapped his palms twice and suddenly a talking parrot flew from somewhere. "She burned the fan, I saw it. Where did the parrot come from? It's really annoying." Dongfang Yuer raised her hand to chase and hit the parrot. I can't hit it, you burned the fan." The parrot teased Dongfang Yuer and called out as if playing hard. Causing Dongfang Yuer to wave her teeth and claws at the parrot, she said, "If you shout again, I'll pluck all your hair." Gongziyu said, "Luer flies onto the back of your hand." The parrot named Luer obediently flew to the back of Gongziyu's hand. Gongziyu looked at his parrot admiringly and said, "My Luer saw you with his own eyes and burned my white feather fan. Do you still want to deny it?" At first, Dongfang Yuer thought that by deceiving Gongziyu twice, this matter would pass. However, she didn't expect a parrot that could only speak to be killed halfway, and this parrot even saw herself casting a spell to burn a white feather fan. Dongfang Yuer straightened up and admitted it. "Yes, I burned your white feather fan. You harassed my purple sister 3 or 4 times. Burning your white feather fan can be considered a lesson for you. Ha! Gongzi sneered. The purple orchid fairy is my untouched imperial concubine. How can teasing my own imperial concubine be considered harassment? The purple orchid fairy was stunned. When did she become the imperial consort of Prince Yu who had not yet passed? The purple orchid fairy retorted, shameless, who is your unmarried imperial consort? Yes, my fairy has already been engaged, and my future husband is the war god clan, the flame general who leads 100,000 heavenly soldiers. The fairy maid of the purple orchid fairy exclaimed angrily. The fairy maid of the purple orchid fairy has long been angry about the timidity of the young Master Yu, because she is a lowly fairy maid and the other person's identity is the second prince of the feather clan. Sometimes, she may not have the ability to protect the Lord. Now that our own master has opened up the topic, General Yuan Yan's trump card has been revealed, intimidating young Master Yu with his arrogance. What about General Yan? As long as the purple orchid fairy passes by the door at the end of one day, I have a chance. To have the chance to be married by the heavenly emperor. Young Master Yu replied with a determined expression. Young Master Yu's words puzzled everyone's hearts. What exactly is young Master Yu going to do? However, judging from his eagle nose and eagle eyes, he is not a good person. The second prince will automatically withdraw from the competition, so he will have to leave Taichan Palace and return to the Yu clan tomorrow. Everyone looked at the voice of the speaker and it was Sima Ao who said these words. Dongfang Yuer is curious about how Sima Ao appeared here. In fact, Sima Ao is not very confident with Princess Jinyang. He is the chief examiner of the competition, and if anything happens to the princess, he is responsible. So Sima Ao took advantage of his free time after the written test and rushed to the Changle Hall of the Ziwei Palace to visit Princess Jinyang. Passing by the Taichan Palace, I saw Gongzi Yu and Dongfang Yuer, and for some reason, they were deadlocked. Sima Ao was entrusted by Emperor Donghua to secretly protect Dongfang Yuer. Now that Dongfang Yuer has something to do, how can he stand idly by? Who stipulated that one must leave the Taichan Palace for the cold retreat test? Young Master Yu asked Sima Ao in frustration. I am the examiner, of course it is my rule. I don't agree. Sima Ao sneered and said, if you don't agree, you have to leave too. I just won't leave, how can you tolerate me? Unexpectedly, the grand second prince started to slack off, catching Sima Ao off guard. Dongfang Yuer, who was standing by, cleverly said, don't leave, let out the golden crow bird and burn all the hair on your body. Seeing the power of the golden crow bird with his own eyes, young Master Yu trembled with fear upon hearing it, but soon he calmed down. You can't drive me away. I didn't come to Jichangshan this time to participate in the competition. It's only the little Simingsing prince who looks down on me. I came to Jichangshan for the sake of a century-long friendship between the Heavenly Clan and the Feather Clan. I hereby request the Heavenly Prince to marry me. Gongzi Yu said the word, bestowed marriage, and the purple orchid fairy's expression was taken aback. Perhaps Gongzi Yu really wanted to bestow marriage to the Heavenly Emperor and marry himself to him. I have been engaged to Brother Yen for a long time, and even the Heavenly Lord cannot control my marriage. Although the purple orchid fairy thought so, her heart was still restless, thinking that her marriage with Brother Yen would always be delayed by the Heavenly Lord and the Heavenly Queen. Upon hearing that Prince Yu's intention was to form a marriage alliance, Sima Ao quickly became hesitant and said, the second prince is in a friendly alliance between the Heavenly and Feather clans. Of course, Sima Ao dare not drive the second prince away. Sima Ao's 180-degree attitude instantly changed, which made Dongfang Yuer very contemptuous. Gongzi Yu smiled proudly and said, it seems that Wenxiu Xingjuan is a talented person, and I cherish talented people the most. Wenxiu Xingjuan is better off following me. After I succeed to the throne, I will definitely use Wenxiu Xingjuan again. It is ridiculous for a wandering prince to say, cherishing talents. Sima Ao refused. Sima Ao, thank you very much for the appreciation of the second prince. Sima Ao is a member of the Heavenly Clan and will swear to be loyal to the Heavenly Clan and never join any other clan. Don't rush to reply, Wensu Xingjuan. Perhaps one day we will cooperate. After the young master Yu left, Dongfang Yuer asked, why is the dignified Wensu Xingjuan afraid of the little feather prince? It's funny, Sima Ao is afraid of meeting him. You know, the three princes of the Feather Clan fight against each other for the throne, even the old emperor doesn't pay attention to them. The eldest prince is cruel, the second prince is promiscuous, and the third prince is cunning and murderous. Neither of them will succeed to the throne, which is detrimental to the Tian clan. Now that the second prince, Prince Yu, has come to participate in the selection of the Minister of Rites. In the dark, he is asking the Heavenly Emperor to marry him, hoping to help him succeed to the throne with the help of the Tian clan. I think Prince Yu has repeatedly entangled with the Purple Orchid Fairy, only wanting to form a relationship with the Purple Orchid Fairy and join the War God clan. A big tree. After all, the power of the boss and the third is far superior to him. What surprises me is that the wild and unrestrained young Master Yu now knows how to compete for the throne. I Dongfang Yuer only realized her ignorance at this moment. Unexpectedly, Sima Ao knew quite a lot and was also very intelligent. If we can win him over, then the day of his father's rehabilitation is just around the corner. Dongfang Yuer didn't understand that she would have the bad idea of taking charge of Ma Ao. End of this chapter.